Al Capone. The name alone conjures up images of a bygone era, a time of flapper dresses, jazz music, and the notorious gangsters of the Prohibition era. Capone, with his trademark scar and piercing gaze, became an icon of this tumultuous period in American history. He was a man who rose from humble beginnings to become the most powerful gangster in America. Capone's story is a complex one, filled with violence, greed, and a relentless pursuit of power. He was a ruthless criminal who built his empire on bootlegging, gambling, and murder. Yet, he was also a man of contradictions. He cultivated a public image as a benevolent benefactor, even as his men carried out his brutal orders. Capone's life and death offer a glimpse into a dark and fascinating chapter of American history. It is a story that continues to fascinate and horrify even today. Alphonse Gabriel Capone was born in 1899. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, to Italian immigrant parents. His parents, Gabriele and Teresina, had 9 children. Al was their 4th. The Capone family lived in a crowded tenement building in a rough neighborhood. Life was hard for the Capones. They struggled to make ends meet. Young Al attended school for a time. However, he dropped out at age 14. He took on various odd jobs to help support his family. The streets of Brooklyn became Al's real education. He fell in with a local gang called the 5 Points Gang. This gang was involved in petty crime. Capone quickly learned the ways of the streets. He was drawn to the allure of easy money and the thrill of danger. Capone's criminal career began with small-time theft and intimidation tactics. He quickly gained a reputation for his ruthlessness and willingness to use violence. He caught the eye of Johnny Torrio, a powerful mob boss. Torrio took Capone under his wing and brought him to Chicago. In Chicago, Capone's criminal career flourished. He learned the intricacies of bootlegging, gambling, and racketeering. Capone's rise in the Chicago outfit, as Torrio's gang was known, was swift. He was intelligent, ambitious, and utterly ruthless. He was also charming and charismatic, able to win over allies and intimidate rivals with equal ease. The 1920s saw the enactment of Prohibition in the United States. This made the production and sale of alcohol illegal. This, however, only served to fuel the rise of organized crime. It created a lucrative black market for liquor. Capone saw the potential of Prohibition and seized it with both hands. He established a vast network of breweries and speakeasies. He smuggled liquor from Canada and other parts of the U.S. Capone's bootlegging operation brought in millions of dollars. He became one of the wealthiest men in America. He used his wealth to corrupt officials, bribe police, and eliminate rivals. As Capone's power grew, so did his notoriety. He became a larger-than-life figure. He was feared by many and admired by some. He cultivated a public image as a benefactor. He opened soup kitchens during the Depression and presented himself as a man of the people. Behind the facade of generosity, Capone ruled his empire with an iron fist. He was responsible for countless acts of violence. His most notorious act was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. In this event, 7 members of a rival gang were brutally gunned down. This massacre shocked the nation and solidified Capone's reputation as a ruthless killer. For years, Capone seemed untouchable. He had evaded justice time and time again. However, his reign of terror could not last forever. The federal government was determined to bring him down. Elliot Ness, a young and incorruptible Treasury agent, was assigned to the case. Ness and his team of untouchables targeted Capone's vast bootlegging operation. They raided his breweries, seized his assets, and built a case against him for tax evasion. In 1931, Capone was finally brought to justice. Capone was convicted of tax evasion and sentenced to 11 years in federal prison. He was initially sent to Atlanta Penitentiary. However, he continued to wield a degree of power and influence even behind bars. He was eventually transferred to Alcatraz, the infamous island prison in San Francisco Bay. Alcatraz was designed to break the most hardened criminals. In Alcatraz, Capone's power and influence waned. He suffered from the effects of syphilis, which he had contracted in his youth. His physical and mental health deteriorated. After serving 7 years of his sentence, Capone was released from prison in 1939. He was a shell of his former self. His health was broken. He retired to his estate in Palm Island, Florida. He lived a quiet life, his mind and body ravaged by disease. On January 25, 1947, Al Capone died from a heart attack. He was 48 years old. Al Capone's life and death left an indelible mark on American history. He was a ruthless criminal who embodied the violence and corruption of the Prohibition era. He was also a complex figure, a man of contradictions who was both feared and admired. Capone's story continues to fascinate us today. It serves as a reminder of the dark side of the American dream. It is a cautionary tale about the corrosive effects of power, greed, and the allure of easy money.